The afternoon sun cast warm light over the small park as Emily tapped her cane along the familiar pathway. Her golden retriever guide dog, Max, trotted faithfully by her side, every step measured to protect her. Emily's world was silent darkness, but with Max, she felt unstoppable. That safety shattered when a group of teenage boys blocked her path. Their laughter was cruel, their voices dripping with mockery. Without warning, one of them kicked Max hard in the side. The dog yelped in pain, stumbling backward. Emily dropped to her knees, feeling his trembling body. Rage and fear surged through her. "What is wrong with you?" she cried, her voice breaking. They laughed even louder, shoving her and calling her names, before running off, leaving her shaking in the middle of the path. She clutched Max, tears slipping down her cheeks, but beneath them was a spark of determination. Those boys thought she was helpless, she would prove them wrong. Emily went home, checked Max for injuries, and called the police. But she didn't stop there. She filed an official animal cruelty complaint and contacted a local lawyer who specialized in disability rights. She gathered witness statements from park visitors and pulled security camera footage from a nearby cafe. Slowly, piece by piece, she built a case. Weeks later, the courtroom was silent as Emily, cane in hand, stood before the judge. Her voice didn't shake as she described the attack, how her guide dog was not just an animal, but her lifeline. The footage played, showing the boys kicking Max and laughing. Gasps rippled through the room. Emily's lawyer drove the point home. This wasn't just cruelty to an animal, it was an attack on a disabled person's independence. The verdict came swift and sharp, guilty on multiple counts, including animal cruelty and assault. The boys were sentenced to juvenile detention, ordered to pay for Max's medical bills, and placed under strict community service involving work with disabled individuals. As they were led away, Emily reached down to stroke Max's head, feeling his warm fur under her fingertips. Justice had been served, and she had proven that even in darkness, light could be found, sometimes in the form of a golden retriever who refused to leave her side. Got it? You want me to create a part 3 that continues the story in about 750 words, keeping it highly engaging and emotional. Here's the extended continuation. Part 3. The courtroom had emptied hours ago, but Emily remained seated on the wooden bench in the hallway, Max curled up faithfully at her feet. The adrenaline that had kept her steady through the trial was wearing off, replaced by a heavy, emotional exhaustion. Yet deep down, a current of relief pulsed through her. She had done it. She had faced them, exposed them, and won. She reached down and ran her fingers along Max's silky fur. "We did it, buddy," she whispered. His tail thumped softly against the floor, and she could feel the vibration travel through her fingertips. That small gesture meant more to her than any word of comfort could. Her lawyer, Mr. Daniels, approached, the sound of his shoes tapping on the polished floor. "Emily," he said warmly, "you were incredible today. The judge's decision sends a strong message, not just for you, but for every disabled person who's ever been underestimated." Emily gave a small smile. "I wasn't going to let them think I was weak. Max deserves better. People like us deserve better." Mr. Daniels nodded. "You did more than just win your case. You exposed something ugly, and now the law is holding them accountable." He paused, his voice softening. "I know it wasn't easy reliving that day." Emily's hand tightened on Max's harness. "It wasn't, but the worst part wasn't the attack, it was the feeling they wanted me to have. Helpless, invisible, like I didn't matter." She stood, Max instantly rising to her side. They walked toward the courthouse doors, the late afternoon breeze carrying the distant chatter of people on the street. Emily could sense their eyes on her, some filled with sympathy, others with admiration. She didn't need to see them to feel the shift. She wasn't the girl who had been attacked anymore. She was the woman who fought back. In the weeks that followed, the story spread. Local newspapers covered the trial, social media users shared clips from the courtroom, and advocacy groups praised Emily's courage. Messages poured in, some from other blind individuals thanking her for standing up, others from strangers who said her determination inspired them. But not everyone was kind. Online, some people accused her of exaggerating, of ruining young lives, over a dog. Emily refused to let their words pierce her. Those boys hadn't just hurt a dog, they had attacked her independence, her dignity, and the trust she placed in the world around her. Max healed quickly, though the first time they returned to the park, Emily could feel his tension through the harness. His usual confident stride was slower, more cautious. She stopped and knelt down beside him. "It's okay, Max," she said softly. "We're safe now. No one's going to hurt you again." Still, she didn't take safety for granted. She began self-defense training for the visually impaired, learning how to use her cane not just for navigation, but as a weapon if necessary. Her instructor, a retired martial artist, admired her grit. "You're not just protecting yourself," he said one day during practice. "You're protecting Max, too." The training gave her a new sense of power. Every strike, every block she learned, reminded her that blindness didn't make her defenseless. Max seemed to notice the change too. His old confidence slowly returned, his ears perking up as they walked, his tail swaying in the wind. Months later, Emily received an invitation to speak at a disability rights conference. She was nervous, but when she stood at the podium, she imagined Max beside her as always, and the words came naturally. "I'm not here today because I'm fearless," she told the crowd. "I was scared the day it happened. I was scared walking into that courtroom. But courage isn't the absence of fear, it's deciding that something matters more than fear. For me, that something was Max. And it was the belief that people like us deserve to live without being targets." Her speech earned a standing ovation. Afterward, people lined up to thank her, some with tears in their eyes. Emily realized then that her fight hadn't been just about her, it was about giving others the courage to fight, too. Back at home, she sat on her couch with Max's head resting in her lap. She traced her fingers over the smooth leather of his harness, remembering the first day they were paired. He had been her eyes in a world of darkness, but he had also become her heart, her friend, and her protector. "They thought they could take you from me," she murmured. "But they were wrong. We're stronger than they'll ever be." Outside, the world carried on, cars honking, children laughing, life moving forward. Emily couldn't see any of it, but she felt it all, and she knew one thing for certain: no matter what came next, she and Max would face it together. And somewhere, in a cold juvenile detention cell, three boys had plenty of time to think about the day they learned what real strength looked like, and how it came from a blind girl and her loyal dog. If you want, I can also give you an epilogue that shows what happened to the bullies after prison and how Emily's life changed even more. That would make the ending even more powerful.